So I was sitting around talking to my friend John Mike, and we were talking about sampling and how samples work in a mix and why I use samples. And mainly I'm using them when there's songs that are really dense, and I use them to complement the original snares. I never just flat out change out a snare unless a snare is completely distorted or something. And so I was talking about the philosophy of layering samples with the real snare just to make things a little fatter and make it get that sound punching through the mix. But you have to do it in a subtle way. And I've had a multitude of samples that I've had over the years, but never actually went into a studio and recorded a whole bunch of different snares. Over the years, I've been collecting them. As I would do a session, I'd go, oh, I love that snare. Let's use that as a sample, and I'll mix that in.
So when it comes to drums, there's not an engineer on this planet that I trust more than Jaszcz. He can get drums sounding as punchy, as thick, as big, as fat as you want them to sound. So when we put together this project and decided to do this, we had to call Jaszcz.
So anyways, we decided to go in the studio and get some really good snares and a couple of good kits. We started thinking of different studios to go to, and I always had really good results when I was in Nashville at Randy Poole's studio in Franklin, Tennessee, because we could always get a really cool room sound because they had this great hallway adjacent to the drum room, and we didn't need a gigantic room to get a great room sound. So we decided to go over to Randy's place and start recording.
And we ran all of our drums through like tens of thousands of dollars worth of analog outboard gear to get the best, biggest, warmest, fattest sound that you can think of when it comes to these drums.
Get some great sounds with some great mic pre's, some great mics, and some great EQs, and we're gonna give them to you.
So with this pack, you are getting multi-sampled toms, kicks, hi-hats, cymbals, snares, all of that good stuff like that to make your drum sound as big as possible. But what's really dope is if you're a Slate Trigger user, you're going to get multi-sampled, multi-round robin files for trigger. We sampled these trigger files deep, which means they're going to perfectly respond to the incoming audio from your source file. Because we did multiple round robin on every sample, each time a source file triggers a sample, it never plays the sample twice. So you're gonna have the most natural sounding drums when you add our samples in, and nobody will be able to really tell that you're even using samples. So head on over to the link down in the description of this video and get Jaszcz's Drum Warehouse and instantly get the best sounding drums of your life.